Good evening. Thanks for joining me. I have a couple of cards for you tonight. First one is a tarot card, and it's the Eight of Cups. What does it symbolize? The Eight of Cups highlights the importance of detachment, letting go of the past, and moving forward to embrace new opportunities. It symbolizes transition, introspection, and courage to walk away from the familiar. I've got another card too. I'll show you that in a moment. But I'm wondering what you think of objects that have an unsavory past. In this case, I have a room key, the Holiday Inn, number 203, and I have a stir stick from a drink, the Holiday Inn, nice and pink. Come on over to the desk and I'll tell you more about this story. All right, let's see what we have here. It's a postcard from the Holiday Inn, the airport Holiday Inn in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, April 18th, 1976. I know some of you aren't from around here, so what we're talking about is roughly here, right there, in South Dakota. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, home to Pink Sioux Quartzite and the first four-door automobile, the Fallwick Flyer. Really? Now, Dot and Don Kresge came in by automobile. They'd driven 830 miles from Casper, Wyoming, stopping at the Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota, and Dorothy had taken many pictures, but Don had not been impressed. She'd promised her sister-in-law a card, and so here it is, in her own hand.
Hi, nice trip down. Gorgeous hotel with indoor pool. Lots of kids. Whirlpool and sauna, too. An odd thing happened which I do not want to write here. We'll fill you in next time we talk. Dorothy.
By the time Dot and Don got to the airport inn, they were not on the best of terms. They had been on the road since dawn. It was unseasonably warm, and Don had refused to use the air conditioning in the car because it was hell on mileage. So Dot was a little cranky. They arrived just as the sun was going down, their headlights punching two holes in the flat landscape of South Dakota. Dot hoped for a cocktail, a dip in the pool, and a good night's sleep. She would get none of those things. At about 7 p.m., while Don napped, Dot made her way down to the atrium by way of the lobby to pick up a postcard. She inquired about the pool and was told it was open until 10 p.m. Asked about the tiki bar, the girl said it was closed. Of course. Of course, said Dot. Of course, said the girl. In the atrium, the darkening sky muted the light, and it did almost, with the tiki bar in the palms, look tropical. Every table in the atrium was covered with water, and with wadded towels on the chairs. The pool was frothy from shrieking, echoing kids. The empty tiki bar, in shadow under the dried palm fronds, looked drier, even if it wasn't quieter. She ducked in and was pleasantly surprised to see a bartender. A slim blonde girl she later described as very pale, with watery blue eyes, and a strange-looking mouth. She ordered a gin and tonic. The girl set it on the bar so hard Dot thought the glass would break. She stabbed a pink stir stick into the ice and demanded Dot's room number. Something just seemed off to Dot. She described a sudden chill as she looked into the girl's eyes, which were watery, very watery. And the bony hand that still gripped the glass was pale and claw-like, with thick blue veins. She thinks the girl said something about key or room again, but if Mrs. Kresge is to be believed, those words were more gargled than spoken, because what came out of the girl's mouth was a flush of water running down her chin and onto her shirt. Dot couldn't explain why she pulled the glass away from the girl's hand when she fled, except that it was there in her hand, but back in the room she paced, and told Don they should report the girl to the front desk. His opinion was that neither she nor anyone else in this hotel would be their problem again before morning, and he was almost right about that. It was about 2 a.m. when Dot woke thinking she heard a sound in the room. She pinched Don awake, and they lay in bed, listening until Don grunted, annoyed, and got up to go to the bathroom. The Kresge's account was confused after that, especially since Don would never tell Dot exactly what he encountered on his way to the bathroom, and she saw only a glimpse of it, slender, white, and flowing, disappearing around the room's door jamb. They summoned the night clerk. The carpet was soaked. There was water everywhere, on the bed, on the desk, on the bathroom floor. The drink, which he tasted, he had to admit was nothing but chlorinated pool water. He offered them another room, but the Kresge's had had enough. They were back on the road at 3 a.m. That courtyard is gone now, replaced by utilitarian airport suites. Here's what they look like. Room 219 doesn't exist anymore. It's probably best that way. Anyway, sleep tight. Don't let anything bite.